play.
There we go. You see, I'd like to tell you a story. It's kind of a family story. It involves three people. It involves a father, and he was a really hard-working guy. He worked in the fields from sun up to sundown. He really, really, really worked hard because tending those fields was hard work. And then he had an older son who was kind of like Dad. He worked right alongside him. He worked really hard from sun up to sundown. And then he had a younger son, the brother of the older son, the youngest son. Well, let's just say he didn't like working as hard as the rest. He liked going out, playing, having a really good time. But then he did something that's incredible. He got tired of working with Dad because he didn't really like doing it. So he did something that it's even hard to imagine today, let alone all those years ago. He went up to his dad and he said, and I'm paraphrasing, but basically he said, "Hey Dad, I don't want to wait till you die to get my money. Can I have it now?" Can you imagine even doing that today to your parents? Let alone all those years ago, when elders were held in much more respect. But the amazing thing is, the father didn't really get upset. He loved his youngest son so much, he actually did what he asked. So what I'm going to do is I want to tell you a little bit about the youngest son first. But we're going to put these guys away for now. We'll come back to the father and the older son a little later. Let's tie a knot here. Anybody have trouble tying their shoes? No? Okay, here we go. There we go. Now we're going to put them in here like this and go on with our story. Well, now would you guys be really, really happy if you got lots of money?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, this younger son, he was really, really happy he had lots of money. And so he decided to go away. He went to a far, far off land. And he had a great time. He had all kinds of money. He could do all kinds of things he really, 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 really liked. He went to that far off country. And we'll just call this little green box the far off country. So we'll put him in here for now. Just stick him right in here. And he had a great time. He had lots of food to eat. He got to visit great places. And all of a sudden he had lots and lots of friends that liked hanging around him. He was having a great time. But guess what happens if you keep spending your money? If you spend and you spend and you spend and you spend, what happens? Your money runs out. And that's what happened to this young man. His money ran out, and all of a sudden, all those friends that hung around him, they weren't interested anymore. They went away. It got so bad, he didn't have a place to stay. He didn't have anything to eat. In fact, and you have to remember, this is a Jew we're talking about. It was so bad, he found himself in the pigsties, tending the pigs, eating the leftovers that the pigs left. And then finally, he realized something. He realized that he had sinned against his father, and he thought, you know what? If I go back, I committed something so horrible I can never be a son, but if I go back and be a servant or a slave, at least I'll have food to eat. I'll have a place to stay. So that's what he decided, because he knew he sinned against heaven and he sinned against his father. So he decided to go home. And he started home. Now we changed the scene. We're back in Israel. The father's out working in his fields in the hot sun, just like he's done day after day after day. And all of a sudden he looks up and he sees something on the horizon. And he looks again. Can it be? Could it possibly be? He looks again. He thinks it might be. Then finally, yes it is, he goes running. And as he approaches his son, His son starts going, "Father, Father, forgive me. I have sinned against you." And the father goes, "Shh." He just grabbed him and he hugged him like this. And he goes, "My son, you were lost, but now you're found." He said, "Come." And he called out his servants and he said, "We're going to have a great big party. My son who was lost has been found. Get out the fatted calf. We're going to celebrate." Now the older son, he's in the fields. He's in that hot sun working, sweating. It's a tough job. And all of a sudden he hears all this commotion. Bells ring and he wonders, what the heck is going on? What's all this commotion about? Finally, a servant goes to him. "Haven't you heard? Your brother has returned." He goes, "What? Your brother has returned. Your father has getting out the fatted calf. We're having a party." Well, this older son wasn't really happy. He went down and he found his father. And he basically said, "Father, are you nuts? What are you doing? This younger son, he disrespected you. He took your money. He spent it on women, on booze, all kinds of things that he shouldn't be. He comes back. And what do? You throw him a great big party. Meanwhile, from the day I was born, I worked for you day after day after day, breaking my back. Have you even once offered to have just a little get-together with a goat for me? No. But you throw this party for him. What's wrong with you?" But the father goes, "Son, don't you know? Everything I have, absolutely everything is yours. All you need to do is ask with your brother. Your brother was dead, but now he's alive. And don't you see, when that happens, we have to celebrate." You see, in life, things can happen. Things really bad can happen to us. And we can become lost in that faraway land without even leaving our own home. We can be lost in despair. We can be lost in hate. We can be lost in prejudice. We can be lost and lost and lost. But an amazing thing, in fact, so lost that we even feel that our heart is totally empty. That's how lost we can be. But the amazing thing is, if we remember God's love, if we remember that God truly loves us, we are never ever really lost. You see, God takes us and holds us by the hand like this because we are never ever lost to God. Thank you very much.